Imagine if the animals around you knew secrets far more dangerous than any human ever could. One secret agent's entire life turns upside down when animals lead him to a terrorist preparing to unleash chaos across the entire country. But the most terrifying part is, the enemy always seems to be one step ahead of him. So welcome to RAFSAT, where today's story is going to keep you completely locked in from beginning to end. Taiyo lives an extremely detail-obsessed life. He likes everything done with absolute precision, starting every morning with a breakfast that's exactly 135 calories, keeping every single thing in his apartment perfectly organized, even making sure every part of his suit looks flawless. His obsession with perfection has basically become his identity now. He even removes tiny pieces of lint from his clothes. His need for perfection has turned into an actual disorder, but he doesn't see it that way. To him, this disciplined lifestyle is the reason he's gotten so far in life, especially in his career. He works as an agent for South Korea's biggest intelligence agency, the NIS. But alongside all of that, he has a deep hatred for animals of any kind. His entire life runs on rules where there's absolutely no room for mistakes. One day while he's out walking, a man's dog suddenly urinates on his face. The owner apologizes while trying to wipe it off, but only ends up smearing it all over him. Later at the office, his mood finally improves a little when his coworkers congratulate him on an upcoming promotion. Right after that, everyone gets called into an important briefing where they learn that a VIP guest from China is about to arrive. What Taijo doesn't realize yet, this mission is about to change his entire life. Their job is to provide full security detail for the guests. The event is being organized to celebrate 25 years of strong relations between China and Korea, and any kind of incident is completely unacceptable. But then they find out the VIP isn't even a person, it's a panda named Min. Even though Taijo hates animals, he still volunteers for the assignment because it could guarantee his promotion. For that promotion, he's willing to tolerate the one thing he hates most. On the day of the event, Taijo personally oversees tight security arrangements. Several military K9 units are also brought in to make sure nothing goes wrong. That's when Taijo runs into his junior agent, Chol Woo, who recently returned from New Zealand. Trying to impress him, Chol Woo shows him a pen-like device capable of temporarily shutting down electronic equipment within a 100-mile radius. Everything seems calm for the moment, but danger is already moving closer. Chol Woo isn't a bad guy. He just has unbelievably terrible luck and somehow causes problems everywhere he goes. Because of that, Taijo immediately takes the device away from him and tells him to stay at his assigned position. A little later, the ceremony officially begins, and Min walks onto the stage. The crowd lights up with excitement, snapping photos from every direction. But then, armed attackers suddenly storm the area carrying smoke bombs. Within seconds, the entire celebration collapses into complete chaos. The attackers throw smoke grenades into the crowd, instantly triggering panic everywhere. During the confusion, Min escapes from the stage area. Jo Woo sees everything happen and jumps into a golf cart to chase after them. Taijo follows close behind, but before they can stop the kidnappers, the attackers hit Min with tranquilizer darts and force the panda into a vehicle. Taijo tries to stop them, but the kidnappers throw another smoke bomb right at him and disappear into the chaos. Smoke fills the air. People are screaming and running in every direction, and nobody understands what's happening anymore. Just before Taijo can continue the chase, Chol Woo accidentally slams into him with a golf cart. Taijo crashes hard onto the pavement, smashing his head against the road. Right before losing consciousness, he sees a millet. The dog suddenly asks why he's sleeping during an emergency, and says the entire department basically runs because of dogs. At that moment, it feels like Taijo's entire world is starting to shift into something impossible. When Taijo finally wakes up, he finds himself at home, wearing a dog collar around his neck. He later learns that the NIS released a public statement claiming the previous day's incident was only a training exercise designed to prepare for emergencies. But in reality, it's just a cover-up to hide the fact that Min was kidnapped. As Taiyo leaves for work, he runs into the same dog again outside, and that's when his life begins turning into something he never could have imagined. The dog had urine all over its mouth, but today, Taijo can actually understand what it's saying. The dog casually talks to itself, mumbling about how great it would be if it got another chance to relieve itself on someone again. Completely disturbed, Taijo rushes into a nearby store and buys expensive food along with some medicine, convinced that maybe he's seriously sick. He can't understand why these bizarre things keep happening to him, but the real shock hits when he walks past the pet section and hears a rat begging him to buy it. Inside the next cage, another animal starts talking too, saying, "Forget that guy and take me home instead, mister. I'm awesome and I'm 50% off." Taijo immediately bolts out of the store. When he gets to the office, he hears the fish inside the aquarium openly laughing at him. Now every animal voice echoes clearly inside his head. Just yesterday, he was dreaming about a promotion, and now it feels like he's about to lose his job entirely. Frustrated and exhausted, Taijo finally asks his boss if he's being fired. His boss tells him he's one of their best agents and asks why they'd ever let him go. But the fish keep laughing non-stop, and eventually Taijo completely snaps and starts yelling at them. After seeing his behavior, everyone around him starts starts realizing something is seriously wrong. Everyone stares at him in complete confusion. Taijo finally tells the director that he can hear animals talking. The director assumes the head injury from the accident caused some kind of psychological damage and tells him to take a few days off. After leaving the office, Taijo heads straight to the zoo where the fake panda is currently being kept. At this point, nobody believes a word he says anymore, and everyone thinks he's losing his mind. The panda turns out to be none other than Cholwoo, wearing the costume so nobody gets suspicious. While Taijo and Cholwoo are talking, Cholwoo accidentally sets the costume on fire and ends up getting rushed to the hospital. Later, while Taijo is heading home, a female gorilla calls him over and says she knows where the VIP panda can be found. In exchange for the information, she demands a magazine. Every new animal seems to open the door to another secret. Taijo brings her a National Geographic magazine, and the gorilla happily stares at the photos of muscular male gorillas inside. Then she tells him about a military dog named Ali, a dog that still remembers the kidnapper's scent. If Taijo can find him, Ali might be able to lead them straight to the people behind Min's kidnapping. Now that dog has become his only path to the truth. That night, Taijo sneaks into a dog shelter where several animals are listening to Ali proudly talk about his heroic past, bragging about how he once saved multiple soldiers during a brutal winter mission. The second the dogs notice Taijo, they immediately attack him, but he distracts them by throwing food across the room, then quickly grabs Ali and escapes. No matter how dangerous things get, he's determined to uncover the truth. On the way home, Taijo questions Ali about the kidnappers, but taking advantage of the situation, Ali says he can't track anything on an empty stomach. Soon, they arrive at a barbecue restaurant where Ali starts devouring meat non-stop while Taijo desperately runs behind him, cleaning up his muddy paw prints. His life is now completely revolving around animals. The next morning, Taijo walks into his apartment and for the first time ever finds the place completely trashed. Furious, he immediately starts yelling at Ali, but then his daughter, Seon, suddenly arrives with two of her friends. Ever since her mother passed away, the relationship between Seon and Taijo has been strained. Because of his dangerous job, they barely even live together anymore. Today is her birthday, and Taijo had promised to throw her a proper party, but the second she sees the mess inside the apartment, she assumes he forgot all about it again. Then she notices the changes around the house and unexpectedly smiles, happy to see that her father finally seems a little different. Taijo stays quiet because he doesn't want her finding out the truth behind everything happening to him. And for the first time in a long while, he realizes family matters just as much as work. After that, they head to the park and spend the entire day there together. Later that evening, after Seon leaves, nearby fireworks suddenly remind Ali of the time he served in Afghanistan, and his mood instantly changes. The pain of those old memories is still buried deep inside him. When Taijo asks him about it, Ali explains that he still remembers the scent of the man who killed his handler, and it's the exact same scent he picked up from the people who kidnapped the VIP panda. He remembers trying to help his handler Sophie locate a bomb during a mission, but then a man standing in the distance detonated it remotely. That explosion changed his entire life forever. Sophie died in the blast. Ali attacked the man but couldn't stop him. The only thing he managed to notice was that the man had a prosthetic leg. Then, on the day Min was kidnapped, he smelled that exact same scent again. After hearing the dog's heartbreaking story, Taijo genuinely feels bad for him and starts playing with him to cheer him up. Meanwhile, Min refuses to eat anything except bamboo. Now this is no longer just a mission, it's become a fight for justice and revenge. Because of that, the kidnappers bring bamboo from a farm for Min. The next day, Ali leads Taijo straight to that same bamboo farm. There, they question the farm owner's pet goat and manage to learn details about the kidnapper's vehicle. Slowly, every clue is pulling them closer to the real criminals. After digging deeper, they begin suspecting a biotech company founder named Mansik. The second Ali sees his photo, he immediately recognizes him and says he's the one behind Min's kidnapping. Taijo and his team head to the company headquarters and discover that Mansik is preparing to launch a new project using panda genes to create something humans can keep like household pets. Their investigation is starting to uncover something far more dangerous than they expected. Convinced that Mansik orchestrated the kidnapping, Taijo attacks him and his bodyguard before dragging him to the police station. But unfortunately, he leaves Ali behind by mistake. The NIS director demands to know what evidence Taijo has for arresting Mansik and how he even found out about him in the first place. Now every move he makes without proof is starting to backfire on him. Taijo finally admits that a military dog gave him the information, but after further investigation, they discover that Mansik wasn't even in Korea during the kidnapping. Because of the assault and wrongful arrest without evidence, Taijo is immediately fired from the agency. In a single moment, his entire career comes crashing down. The second Mansik is released, he goes straight to the people he hired for Min's kidnapping. That's when the truth finally comes out. A terrorist named Dimitri kidnapped Min. The confusion happened because Dimitri used one of Mansik's advanced face masks to disguise himself. In exchange for kidnapping the panda, Dimitri forced Mansik to create special capsules that can explode remotely once swallowed. Now the real threat turns out to be far bigger and deadlier than anyone imagined. Taijo secretly follows Mansik and overhears everything, finally piecing the entire truth together. He approaches Min and comforts the panda, promising that someone will come save her soon. After that, he rushes back home and desperately bangs on the door, begging Seo-yeon to open it. But but she refuses to trust him anymore because his actions are the reason he lost his job in the first place. Soon after, military officers arrive and take Ali away. Orders have already been given to put him down for disobeying commands during the mission. Now Taiyo may only have one final chance left to prove he was right all along. When Taiyo learns that Ali has been abandoned, he sees how heartbroken his daughter is and decides to save him no matter what. He sneaks into the military K9 unit and rescues Ali before heading toward the warehouse where the kidnappers are hiding Min. At this point, he's finally ready to face whatever comes next. They also run into Cho Woo, who accidentally got lost while jogging nearby. Taijo knows Cho Lu would only slow them down inside, so he orders him to stay outside. Then Taijo quietly sneaks into the warehouse. Using electrical traps and quick attacks, he takes down multiple terrorists inside. Soon, a brutal fight breaks out between him and Dimitri. Dimitri is seconds away from killing Taijo, but at the last moment, Ali jumps in and saves him. Grabbing Min, they escape the warehouse and race up a nearby hill, where they release a herd of bulls directly toward the terrorists chasing them. Chilwoo ends up getting swept away along with one of the bulls. After running through the night, they finally reach a highway and jump onto a bus. Inside, Taijo pretends that Min is just a person wearing a costume. Meanwhile, back at the warehouse, Man-si completely loses his temper after discovering the panda is gone. What started as a rescue mission is now turning into an all-out war. But after Dimitri humiliates one of his own men during an argument, the terrorists force-feed him one of the explosive capsules and lock him inside a room. At this point, Dimitri has become a threat even to his own people. Dimitri's real plan is finally revealed. He intends to send Min back carrying those capsules because she's scheduled to appear at a major event attended by top leaders from both China and Korea. He plans to trigger the explosives there and assassinate all of them at once. Shortly after the terrorists leave the room, a massive explosion rips through the warehouse, proving the capsule inside the man detonated exactly as planned. His plan is capable of causing worldwide devastation. Meanwhile, Taijo brings the NIS director to his house and introduces him to Min. Every animal Taijo has spoken to so far is gathered there. They safely place Min inside a vehicle and head toward the event. On the way, Ollie suddenly catches a strange scent and starts following it. But before anyone realizes what's happening, Dimitri's men appear out of nowhere and abduct him. Taijo sees them take Ollie but can't stop them in time. Back at home, he asks the pair to help locate Ollie. Meanwhile, Dimitri force feeds explosive capsules to several military dogs because they'll also be present at the event, meaning he plans to turn them into living bombs. With every passing second, the danger keeps getting worse. The event finally begins, and leaders from both countries greet each other on stage. Then Min walks out to perform, and Dimitri immediately starts the countdown on his phone. At the same time, a tiger is released into the crowd, sending everyone into complete panic. The doors lock from the outside, trapping everybody inside the venue. Within moments, the entire event is on the verge of turning into a massacre. Just seconds before the capsules explode, Taijo races toward Chel Wu and grabs the electronic disruption device from him. The second he presses the button, every electronic system in the area immediately shuts down. All the explosive capsules inside the dogs fail and deactivate. Dimitri tries to escape, but Ollie chases after him. During the fight, Ollie ends up badly injured. At the very last second, their quick thinking saves thousands of lives. Dimitri is about to kill Ollie when Taijo jumps between them. A bullet tears straight into Taijo's shoulder. The next day, when he wakes up in the hospital, he's told that Ollie died. Taijo rushes to the animal hospital, where Seon is already there. The two of them break down crying together beside Ollie until a doctor walks in and calmly explains that he's only sleeping. In the end, Taijo is honored with a medal by NIS director for his bravery and sacrifice. At last, the entire world recognizes the courage and sacrifice he risked everything for. For more insane and unique movie stories like this, make sure you subscribe to RAFSAT Core, because every story here is guaranteed to blow your mind.